Ferrari's new F1 suspension upgrade is a total game changer. Could Ferrari have just unlocked the missing piece of the puzzle? In mid-2025, the Scuderia quietly tested a new rear suspension design, one that could reshape their season. But what exactly changed, and why does it matter for Leclerc, Hamilton, and the rest of the field? Ferrari's SF25 has struggled all year with ride height. They couldn't keep the car low enough to the track due to packaging compromises. Pushing the cockpit and engine rearward forced a shorter gearbox and limited rear damper space. The result? A bouncy car. As downforce pressed the car down, it rebounded awkwardly when slowing, upsetting stability. Ferrari even raised ride height earlier in the season just to prevent scraping. The new suspension isn't radical. It's a refined evolution, but its impact could be significant. According to Gary Anderson, Ferrari improved the rear geometry in two key ways. First, they retuned the rear damper to shift the car's bounce frequency away from the floor's natural aero frequency. Translation, they reduced the bouncing that causes airflow instability under the car. Second, they added anti-lift to the rear suspension's top wishbone, which helps keep the rear end planted under braking. That leads to better grip and more consistent cornering. Images from Mugello show the subtle differences in geometry. Nothing flashy, just smarter design. Revised carbon covers and mounting points slightly alter the airflow and ride behavior. Small tweaks here can unlock more consistent ground effect downforce, the key to modern F1 speed. Why this matters. Aerodynamically, the goal is to run the car lower without triggering porpoising. When the floor is close to the track, it creates suction, which boosts grip. But if the car bounces at just the wrong frequency, airflow detaches and downforce vanishes. Ferrari's new damper settings shift that frequency, allowing the car to ride lower safely. According to Anderson, Spa will reveal whether this gamble pays off. Racing News 365 notes that the new suspension complements Ferrari's recent floor updates, which aim to make the car less sensitive to ride height. Matteo Bobby explains that the old suspension had a narrow window where it worked best. Now that window is wider. If all goes to plan, the upgrade could be worth 0.1 to 0.15 seconds per lap. Not huge, but in F1, that's a grid position. Though the focus is on the rear, a more stable rear improves the front too. Ferrari also added front anti-dive geometry, keeping the nose from dipping under braking, which improves turn-in and front grip. The car should now feel more planted into corners and more responsive to driver input. Higher downforce also helps with tire life. It may sound odd, but more aero grip means the tires slide less, reducing wear. As engineer Ed Gwynnis puts it, aerodynamic load makes tires last longer. Smoother tire temps and wear means stronger race pace and more strategic flexibility. All this adds up to real-world gains. Better braking, more consistent speed through corners, and improved tire life. All things that could move Ferrari several spots up the grid on high-speed tracks. This suspension upgrade comes at a pivotal time. With Charles Leclerc leading and Lewis Hamilton now in red, Ferrari is under pressure to deliver wins. Both drivers tested the new system at Mugello in early July, logging 200 kilometers to validate the setup. Hamilton had voiced frustration after Silverstone, calling the SF25 a tough balance to drive. This upgrade is Ferrari's response, an attempt to address rear instability and incorporate feedback from both drivers before 2026 development takes over. Why the urgency? Because the championship fight is brutal. McLaren currently leads with Piastri and Norris, while Ferrari is locked in battle with Mercedes and Red Bull. Racing News 365 notes, this is likely Ferrari's final SF25 upgrade before they fully pivot to next year. Even if it doesn't leapfrog them past McLaren, it could secure second place, and that's crucial. Italian media has pressured Ferrari to lean into Hamilton's input, and this tweak is evidence they're doing just that. If Spa goes well, it could be the turning point Hamilton's been waiting for in his first year with Ferrari. Ferrari's move hasn't gone unnoticed. Red Bull plans their own upgrades at Austria and Silverstone before focusing on 2026. They're chasing McLaren, but Ferrari's gains could force them to respond faster. McLaren isn't sitting still either. Norris is getting handling tweaks to better suit his style, while Piastri, this year's standout, can selectively test upgrades. If Ferrari closes the gap, expect McLaren to counter quickly. Mercedes and Aston Martin are also deep in development. Mercedes brought similar suspension changes at Imola and may keep adjusting. Aston Martin, known for straight-line speed, could refocus on tire life and balance if Ferrari becomes a threat. In short, Spa and Silverstone will be a showdown, not just for points, but for momentum heading into the final phase of 2025. Beyond the current season, this upgrade signals Ferrari's intent. With 2026 bringing all new regulations, every team is already shaping their next-gen cars. Hamilton says he wants some of my DNA in the 2026 Ferrari, and this is part of that influence. Red Bull is already preparing to switch full focus after Silverstone. Behind them, Mercedes and Aston Martin will also keep developing. Mercedes brought its own rear suspension anti-dive, anti-lift upgrades at Imola, and they may try different dampers or springs to regain edge. Aston Martin already has strong straight-line speed. If Ferrari climbs up, AMR might focus on their balance and tire life. Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, and the others all know the next year's cars are a blank sheet of paper. Hamilton has explicitly said he's working to make the 2026 Ferrari have some of my DNA. Red Bull's Marco has said after Silverstone at the latest, they'll switch all resources to the new regulations. In effect, these mid-2025 upgrades are the last flex of each team's 2025 development phase. These 2025 upgrades are more than a performance boost. They're a statement of direction. If Ferrari's tweaks show promise, they could inspire core design ideas for 2026. Ending the season strong would give engineers confidence and provide a platform to build a race-winning car around Hamilton and Leclerc. Could this new suspension be the key to Ferrari's late-season resurgence? Spa will be the proving ground. But one thing is clear, Ferrari has attacked a known weakness. If the car is now lower, smoother, and faster, everything changes. What do you think? Will Ferrari's suspension tweak pay off? Or will Red Bull and McLaren keep their edge? Let us know in the comments and join the debate.